Well, welcome back, and I'm Jerry Cooey.
I'm Deborah Nelson, and this is Santa Rosa Week TV.
It is Santa Rosa Week TV. We hope that you had a marvelous Christmas holiday and a happy and safe New Year. You know, I do partake on Facebook periodically, and I'm always worried my involvement with the Milton High School band. I've got to know and really a lot of the kids, so I'd put a thing on Facebook for New Year's, hey, remember that other person may be impaired too, and please be careful. Yeah. And then on New Year's Day, I quickly scanned all the media, and I didn't find any of them in in the police report. So yeah, I was good. Always so worried. It seems like, and I think it was. By all account, it seemed to be a fairly safe New Year's this year.
Yes,
so,
and this around here, I
right,
think so too.
Yeah. So we're glad that you made it. We're glad that we're here
in 2011.
In 2011, wow, we're almost
we're almost to the Mayan end of the world.
Yeah, our last broadcast. So, our last broadcast will be 12/12.
Yeah, 12/21.
12/21.
Yeah. So, of course, the message is run those credit cards up.
Yeah. There's a lot of, and actually I was kind of surprised. I was especially surprised at the number of the younger generation that was aware of the 2012 issue even before the movie came out. It kind of shocked me that they were really in tune with that. But then I read a story the other day, and basically the poor sap who was making a median income in the Mayan village, he said, "You know what? That's it. I'm not getting paid enough to keep building this calendar any further. 2012 should be enough."
Well, they had to end it at some point. I mean, their calendar goes in cycles, and that's the end of a major cycle.
Well, I just picture it in, there's a poor guy, he's out there with a stone tablet and papyrus reeds and having to build his own ink, and he's going, for goodness sakes, we're 400 years ahead right now. Let's just call it a day,
But at the same time, we have a recipe for world conflagration. I mean, we have a U.S. government that has two branches of Congress that will never agree on anything. Nothing will be done for 2 years in the U.S. We know that. It may be entertaining, but nothing's going to happen.
I've always found great wisdom in our founding fathers because they developed a system that will keep the elected officials fighting amongst each other.
Yeah.
Because if they ever get lined up, they can do some real damage.
They're still stealing. The mono party that's in charge, what is it, Republicrats? The Democans?
Well, you're going to start out the first of the year slinging insults at everybody, huh?
Yeah.
I saw a friend of mine posted it. He said he gave a weather report for Washington, D.C. He said it's actually so cold in Washington, D.C. right now that the politicians had their hands in their own pockets.
Oh, yeah. That's always good. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
But, we're heading into.
We have Rick Scott coming into Florida.
We do have Rick Scott.
And that's a coming disaster.
I spoke with Barbara Peterson today of the First Amendment Foundation, and I think the two of us think alike. We're the eternal optimists. We think maybe Rick Scott just doesn't quite understand yet, because at noon he signed an executive order that all government, we're going to continue the Office of Open Government. We're going to, all government offices are going to abide with open meetings and open records, and the citizens are able to be involved in it. And for supper that night, he had a closed-door meeting with everybody who gave him $25,000 for his inauguration, and the press was not allowed to be in the room. So it's a little bit of a mixed bag so far. it appears that and folks, you know, we got new names to introduce you to, but Pam Bondi as the new Attorney General. And let me just say this: Pam Bondi could be asleep at her desk with her head laying on her desk, and she will accomplish more than Bill McCullum ever accomplished. But Pam Bondi appears to seriously is going to seriously embrace open governments and open.
I hope so. I hope you're right. I'll have to. I'll eat my words if that happens.
Well, and Pat Gleason, who was going to work for Governor Rick Scott, has moved back to Pam Bondi's office, and she will continue her work she did a lot of training, and like when you when there's an argument, she's kind of mediating things of that nature. From what Barbara Peterson told me, there was going to be Pam Bondi is pushing to be much more proactive, much more training, all elected officials, all board members throughout the state of Florida. So, you know.
Well, and hopefully following up on it, if necessary, prosecuting breaches of sunshine law.
Well, see that's the big thing, and folks, let me update you on this one, because actually it's so sad. I have to laugh about it. But for example, former Commissioner Gordon Gooden. Now, we have an ethics department for the state of Florida. We must uphold ethics in the state of Florida. We have an ethics department, and we pay lawyers, and they have a building, and I've been to that building. And so, of course, I had discovered that Gordon Gooden made a trip to Bill Pullum's private island and didn't disclose it as he's required by law. I filed a formal complaint. Even gave him pictures.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, Gordon Gooden self-reported. He said, yes, I made that trip. I made a mistake. The trip was worth X amount. Folks, that was in February of 2010 when the complaint was filed. And to my knowledge, it's still in the investigative phase. I have not been told anything different since then. So the ethics, and your point is well taken, the ethics department does absolutely nothing. If you were to bring them a videotape of an elected official stabbing someone to death, they would probably have to study it a while. So Pam Bondi, and I hope...
yeah, because I'm talking about stuff that goes beyond an ethics issue. I'm talking about, you know...
actual criminal behavior.
Criminality, yeah.
Right.
Like, for instance, you know, Team Santa Rosa disregarded sunshine law for many years, and yet, you know, nothing... Oh, they didn't know.
Well, you know...
I didn't know I wasn't supposed to steal from your shed.
It's just like...
I won't do that.
I guess it was a couple weeks ago... A couple different writers of the Pensacola News Journal delved into, we have a gang problem.
Yes.
You know, so I sent my email to Mark O'Brien and said, well, we do have a gang problem. You're looking at the wrong group of people, though.
They're located behind McDonald's on Caroline Street in Milton.
They wear suits and ties, and they say Pledge of Allegiance to the flag every other meeting.
Yes.
You know, and look, I agree. I try not to live in gray in my life. You either follow the law or you don't follow the law.
That's the hallmark of a conservative.
And my hope is that in 2011, Pam Bondi. But
that's a good thing.
We've got a year-long government corruption grand jury that's going on right now, and apparently they found some things. They've already put out a pretty strong list of recommendations that will hopefully pass through the Attorney General's office to be spread amongst the minions of the state of Florida.
Recommendations have to be, you know, at some point enforced.
And,
would be nice.
and we have seen, well, I talked to a reporter from South Florida, and in one county they lost 3 commissioners. In one county, in another county they lost 2 commissioners. There was 2 or 3 that was in one of the cities down there that all got canned over violating the law, like you're talking about, not ethical stuff, stealing, bad contracting, all that kind of stuff. I just would like 2011, and hey, wake up, Bill Edens. How about going after some of your friends every now and then? I'd like for our state attorney to get off his dead rear end.
Be something else.
Grow a set, Bill. Grow you a backbone. Just stand up and reach out there. I know you go to parties with those folks, but they stealing from the taxpayers. Do something about it. Then maybe Pam Bondi. Of course, as mentioned before on this show, the FBI and the IRS subpoenaed all the documentation from Florida's Republican Party.
Yeah.
I got a feeling there's quite a few names in there that really ought to be looked at. But I'm tired. Something needs to be done. Okay? It's no different than your children. They go in and they put their hand on the stove, and you spank them and you punish them a little bit. Don't put your hand on the stove. Well, they probably won't do that again. It's the same thing with politicians. It's not only elected politicians. Some of the worst things that we have going on is happening through appointed boards who work in the steps of government.
Yeah, the public-private agencies.
But the hammer needs to be put down in 2011. Somebody needs to go to jail. I know they're not going to get all of them, but there's some of them that need to go to jail.
Yeah.
One thing that I noticed in Escambia County, when they found one commissioner dead under a house, two that were disgraced forever, and one that went to state penitentiary for 3.5 or 4 years, things kind of settled down in good old Escambia County. Now, they've had a couple little minor skirmishes over there, like Rhodes Inc. wanting them to rebid. But for the most part, they've been flying pretty straight. And that's what needs to happen across the state. Pick up the Louisville Slugger. Look, I've said it before and I'll say it again. The person who knocks somebody in the head and takes their wallet from them, that's bad. And I want that person prosecuted. I want us to try to find that person. But the one that's doing more harm to Florida's economy,
right, and producing the common criminals,
is the elected officials,
the thieves,
who continue to look the other way, who make special deals for themselves and their friends, when it's clearly, folks, look, go look at the Florida statutes yourself. It says across the board, anybody, an elected official, an appointed member of a board, anything that stands in the shoes of government, if you have intimate knowledge, and I can pretty much quote the law.
Yeah.
If you have intimate knowledge that the average citizenry does not have, and you act upon that knowledge to enrich yourself, your family members, or businesses that you own, you've committed a felony. Now, I see that happening all the time.
Yeah.
It's called insider information.
Right.
Where's the road going? Oh, we better go buy property.
Right.
Where's this going to happen over here? Over and over and over. The ethical standard we have, to me, for across the United States of America, and this is one thing that I try to live by. When I am by myself, are my ethics the same as they are when I'm in a group of people? I try to have my ethics the same if nobody's watching.
Right.
And we have blurred the line so much in ethics. Ethics in government, ethics in folks' personal lives too. Well, it's okay if we have 17 liquor establishments. Let's just get along. Well, because of that blurring of ethics, there's just so many things, and it just gets worse and worse and worse.
Well, what they've done in Florida is they've funneled a lot of it through these nonprofit, public-private agencies.
Right.